Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. It's been a nice afternoon, just kind of taking it easy. It rained for a little while, it's a little bit cloudy, and I'm trying to prepare some coconut. So I've opened a couple of coconut this afternoon and got the meat out because I've still got and I don't know in any of these videos, I've lost track with Lissa visiting me this week, but I'm getting the meat out of 4 coconuts all together because she's going to do a video making fresh coconut milk. And I think her last night here, we're going to make my mango coconut curry. But anyhow, I don't know. I know when this video is coming out, actually. It's coming out on a Saturday because I'm releasing it tomorrow. And I don't know, I was just thinking a little bit earlier this afternoon, kind of the way we've been eating this week because I'm not in my normal routine. I don't get out and do as much stuff, when I'm by myself. I don't get out and do stuff at all. And I don't share food with people, and I'm just this has just been a real intense week, a very productive week of talking about food and just having a good time and enjoying a lot of food. And we've eaten a little differently. I've been a little bit out of my normal way of eating. Probably the biggest thing is I'm just haven't been eating as much because we're staying busy and on the go. And I'm not talking about restricting or anything, but I'm just talking about, for a week, I've just missed a few calories here and there. And then, a night or two, if you've watched a video from the market, I've had, I had bought a fair amount of nuts, and we've had actually, we've only had a couple of dishes, a couple of days, 2 or 3 days out of the time we've been making food together that we've done any high fat. And in some of those we used the cashews, but we actually spread them out. Like for instance, we had a bag of cashews. We made a cashew sour cream, but it wasn't, and the size of the bag split between 2 people, split between and we had leftovers. So we split it between 4 meals. So it wasn't that high, but that's not the point. The point is you don't have to click on all cylinders every day. You don't have to eat the perfect thing every day, whether it's people I think go off chasing their tails or going in the wrong direction, thinking they have to get every nutrient, their calories, this and that every day. So for me, and I even used to do this when I was living the standard American diet lifestyle, eating whatever I ate. When I did get heavy or when I felt like that I needed to, help lighten up a little bit, lose a few pounds, I kind of had this zen to my eating, and it was always it wasn't restricted or didn't eat anything one day and then pigged out the next, but it was just always kind of like a flow. If I ate a little bit heavy one day, I just lightened up again the next day. If it was a super heavy day of eating, I just lightened up a little bit, for a couple of days after. Well, I kind of do that now too. If I have a couple of days where there's something special, I find some good avocados and I eat avocados 2 or 3 days in a row. I balance that out. I'll have a few days of adding no overts, eating high fruit, eating even if I eat high fat for a couple of days, or even higher fat than I normally eat, I like to even eat more of the fruits with the higher water content. I'll eat the mangoes and or a watermelon or pineapple or papaya just for a few days, and it kind of it just let your system reset a little bit after having to digest the fat. There's no science to this. It's just something that's always seemed to work for me, and it continues to work, especially on this raw vegan lifestyle. It, in a way, I can kind of sort of relate it to the book Whole by T. Colin Campbell, where he talks about reductionism and talking about people where he thinks, the health industry or just health in general and trying to, solve people's health problems throughout the years. It's because people focus on one component when it's really it's kind of like a matter of the whole picture. You're not going to get you're not going to get your perfect vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, everything clicking every day. You're going to be right at 10%. You got to mix it up. You just kind of got to balance it out. Do the best you can each day. So one day you're going to be a little higher than this than you should. You're going to be a little bit lower than this than you should. But if you're eating a wide variety, basically it all goes back to you want to be eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. You want to be eating good, healthy fat. You don't want to be eating too much fat, but it's just a flow. It's a balance. and you don't need to be constantly fretting over every little bite you put in your mouth or planning out everything you're eating every day. Just eat a good, clean, whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Get a good variety. Eat plenty of calories. That's one of the biggest things right there, I think he talks about in the book even, is if we are eating in general, if we're eating a variety and we're getting the calories that we should be getting to supply our body per day, you know, depending on your activity level, if we are eating a variety and we're getting the calories that we should, the amount of calories we should, that we should mostly be getting the nutrients we were supposed to get, because our ancestors that did not have, you know, they didn't have machines, they just went out and ate. They had a natural instinct to go out and know what to eat, you know, at the time. Now I don't go get into all of the primal man thing, because they didn't live to be that long. If I'm not mistaken, you know, back in those days, you probably didn't live to be about 27 or 28. But I think they were closer to the original design of man than we are, for sure. And that's, you know, or look at animals. Animals are not fretting all day long about, like, you know, I don't think there's a gorilla sitting in a tree eating on leaves and going like, oh, I haven't had my certain amount of fruit today. If he comes on a good area for greens that are very, and you know, he's got his instinct of what are the best greens by eating them, he's probably just going to lay into the greens for the day. If he comes upon some, you know, a spectacular cache of fruit, he's going to eat fruit today. But I don't think, you know, animals in nature are sitting around going, oh my God, I only ate this today and I didn't get this, so I'm going to have to think, you know. So, you know, don't focus so much on specific things, like, and it can even be like, people talk about the superfoods and a certain food. You got to get this food in your diet so you're getting these nutrients. I'll still go back to what I say all the time. The magic of this lifestyle is basically more what we're leaving out of our body than what we're putting back in. So, you know, if you have a high fat day, don't beat yourself up. Or enjoy and eat something that's not exactly like those people tend to always spin out, the people that are going to try to eat perfectly every day or have such hard rules that, like, yeah, well, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. You know, life's to be enjoyed. I think I'm a little bit more aware of that right now because of having had a guest this week and having had somebody that's really good with food, that's in sync. You know, like we're in sync on the way we eat, and she's willing to make it, and I've been willing to help. So I've come to a different understanding that the food, you know, well, not different, but just it's kind of reminded me that food isn't all utilitarian. You know, we need to enjoy our food. And when we can get it as close to that balance as possible, where we're enjoying the best in relation to our health too, well, then that's a win-win situation either way. Anyhow, just an old rambling weekend video. I hope this one made a little bit of sense, might help a little bit, but focus on the whole more than those components, because a lot of times the whole is more than the sum of its parts. And don't focus on so much on every little detail. But anyway, just my 2 cents worth. Hope you guys like this one. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. Love you guys. Peace.